Next,
Next.
Indianapolis Colts.
The Colts. Wow, the Colts. What can you say? Last year, the Colts burst onto the scene with that fabulous draft pick that played for Stanford, named Andrew Luck. And he was
Good
fabulous.
luck was he? Buenos suertes.
Listen, the year before that, everybody in Indianapolis and around the NFL learned how important and valuable Peyton Manning was to the team because they went from being a perennial, top of the AFC team, playoffs and all that, and making it to the Super Bowl twice and winning once, to being in the tank. So they were worst in the league. They won the Andrew Luck sweepstakes. They drafted Andrew Luck, and he came in. You know how hard it is to break into the NFL, Joey? As a quarterback, especially.
Well, yes, I do. I want to make
ridiculous.
It's actually a comment that I was going to bring up later, and I'm glad that I didn't forget it because, in my opinion, last season we saw, in my 43 years on the good old USA earth and soil, where we don't make anything anymore. Let me plug that again. We saw the three best rookie quarterbacks I think we've ever seen in the history of the NFL. Russell Wilson in Seattle, the poise and the consistency and the good decision making and the good play that came out of him. I would also say with Andrew Luck, even being a second-year player, RG3 for the Redskins, and especially, in my opinion, the kid from the 49ers, Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, yes.
I would say these three players, it was
cool.
very exciting for me. I think Andrew Luck was a second-year player, right?
No, last year was his first.
Oh, he was really lucky then.
He was
the name
the
fits.
Colts were lucky. He took him to the playoffs from being like a 2-14 team.
Well, who can hate a horseshoe? You ever shot horseshoe? You ever threw horseshoes?
I carry a horseshoe with me every time I go to Vegas.
You do?
Yeah.
How do you get on the plane with that thing?
Oh, it's registered. You can't carry an unregistered horseshoe on the plane, but if it's registered, it's fine. I mean, I go through the TSA, it's a breeze. They say,
it's not a deadly weapon.
No, it's a registered deadly weapon.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
All right. Do you wring anybody's neck with it?
No, that's if I
or
wring
do you get points
neck,
for it if you do?
Listen, if I TSA knows me. They know me. They know this is Mickey with the horseshoe. I've got the papers. They look me up on the computer. They say, okay, Mickey, go on. You can bypass the line. You've got the horseshoe.
Jojo Fucelli, always a 45 Colt. You're right below that. Mickey, horseshoe. All right.
They think,
that's your weapon of choice.
I know. I'm just playing
You don't
dumb.
take away man's weapon of choice.
No, I'm just playing dumb with them anyway. They think that I don't know that you can't kill anybody with a horseshoe, but I do know that. But I'm playing like I don't know that they think I'm playing dumb. In other words,
well, I'm sure there's a leprechaun in Ireland that would disagree with that whole thing. Because I tell you what, I've had a couple of boxes of Lucky Charms, and sometimes them things come out snap, crackle, and pop. You got to watch where you're going.
Because you get a refund on that box.
And an elf kicking up his heels with a really strong horseshoe in his hand. You don't want to get too close.
I know.
That's what I'm saying.
I stand my distance.
The thing that surprised me about the Colts.
Well, I just think they'll be back. They're not going to beat the Houston Texans, but they will make the playoffs. Andrew Luck think about as good as he was in his rookie year in the NFL, which is it's so difficult to come into the NFL and start as a rookie quarterback and do anything other than fall flat on your behind, especially if you're playing for a team that was so bad the year before that they lost like 14 games.
So would you agree with me? Absolutely. Come on, the odds of that. Would you agree with me that we saw the most impressive class of rookie quarterbacks last year?
Since the 83, which was Elway and Marino. And
I still say they weren't quite as impressive, but that's a whole nother show and a whole nother time for me to prove you wrong. I mean, for us to discuss.
I'm saying the best quarterback class since then. I'm not saying they were better than them.
Right.
Yeah, totally. Those four guys. All right, so we're done with the Colts. We're done with the Colts?
So the last thing I was going to say about the Colts was they're in the phase of cleaning house. They're in the middle, just as you had alluded to. With the Peyton Manning dynasty and with him leaving town, unfortunately, and picking up his Spurs and heading out to Denver and really growing up from a Colt to a Bronco.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Guys like Dallas Clark and guys like Austin Collie, these were the weapons that Peyton Manning really put in place and really made it work because he can do what Peyton Manning can do. All of them have gone on to other teams. Tampa Bay Buccaneers for Dallas Clark and Austin Collie on to wherever he went to. And on the defense, there's some cleaning house going on there too because Robert Mathis, the sacking machine coming off the edge, and on the other end, Dwight Freeney. Both of these players have been let go by the Colts. I find it, all I'm going to say is the Colts did much better than I thought they would last season. So that tells me one thing automatically, that once again, like the Green Bay Packers, there's depth in the team. They're doing a very good job above the other teams in the NFL at identifying talent young and bringing it up at the right time so that they're mature enough to play when the time is right. And that's how I feel about the Colts. It'll be interesting to see where they're at. I really don't know where they're going to fall this season.